This is another episode of the CEIS20 podcast, and we have now today the pleasure to welcome Dr. Beste İşleyen, who is an associate professor in political science at the University of Amesterdam, and she's also the president of the European International Studies Association, one of the most relevant associations of European studies in Europe. Thank you very much, Beste, in the name of CEIS20 and our research community for accepting this invitation to participate in our podcast and to come to Coimbra to share with us your super interesting work and also to talk to us, to be with us and to get to know our university too. So, can you please say your name and your institution? I have already said that, but Madalena
Sure. Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be in Coimbra. My name is Beste İşleyen. I'm an associate professor in the political science department of the University of Amesterdam. And I have worked at this institution for more than 11 years. That's
okay. So, Dr. Beste İşleyen, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do, where do you do it, what is your research about?
Yes, I am teaching at the University of Amsterdam and also doing research at the same institution. My teaching is mainly focused on international relations, and I'm also teaching courses on European politics and also post-colonial, decolonial theory. And my research also mainly focuses on these topics. Apart from that, I am also doing some management outside my institution. I am the current president of the European International Studies Association, to which I was elected in 2021. And from 2021 until 2023, I was managing the European workshops in international studies. And since 2023, I have been the president of the European International Studies Association. My research is mainly on international relations in general, with a focus mainly on conflict studies and peace and conflict studies. And I mainly work on the questions of territoriality, migration control, but also broader conceptual interventions into, population control and territorial control, and increasingly from an historical perspective. And my researcher journey is a little bit maybe strange because I started in the field of European studies for my MA program, and then in the PhD also I started as a European studies scholar, but then I was more interested in critical security studies, and I wrote a PhD on European policy towards the conflict. Towards Israel and Palestine, and it mainly employed concepts from critical security studies, a Foucauldian approach to power, knowledge production, and peace. And after my PhD, I shifted my focus to migration studies, and with an empirical focus on contemporary migration and border control in Turkey at the European Union borders. It was a mainly participant observation-based and interview-based research, mainly practice-focused research on how the Turkish border guards or the police conceive of migration and how they employ border security on an everyday basis. And this led me to the more historical understanding. As I was making research on the topic, I became more interested in the history of migration control, and this is what I am doing currently.
Okay, so I'm going to take advantage of you talking already about how you're bringing in other disciplines and knowledges to your research, which help you clearly with creating innovation and original knowledge. So how is your research interdisciplinary, and why did you decide to historicize migration border control?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. I always, I think, worked in an interdisciplinary manner. The kind of research that I did on Turkish migration and border control, I was very much interested in political geography literature to understand territoriality, population control, and I mainly benefited from works from that kind of scholarship. And also critical security studies, it's also very interdisciplinary as well. So I have always been an interdisciplinary researcher. And nowadays it's more like I am engaging more with the discipline of history, because I also believe that we have a lot to learn from historians, and in many cases, not only in terms of empirics, because there's already research done on many issues that I am interested in, especially in the case of Turkey and the Ottoman Empire, but also history also helps us to rethink key concepts in international relations. And I'm mainly referring to post-colonial studies that have provided new insights, but also fruitful, let's say, ways of engaging with IR concepts by bringing the history into their analysis. For example, works which looked at the history of sovereignty and bringing in the colonial context into the analysis. They have enriched our understanding of how sovereignty is understood in international relations. Again, territoriality, and I mainly engaging with this post-colonial, decolonial scholarship to rethink our understanding of how migration control emerged as a modern phenomena. And this research enables me to bring in the imperial past into the analysis, and particularly the Ottoman imperial history.
That is very, very interesting, and clearly brings about a dimension that international relations can benefit from.
Definitely.
So it's clearly a very interdisciplinary and interesting approach. So can you just share with us a little bit about your future perspectives? What are you doing now in the present in your research, and what would you like to do in the future, if you have any mid-term, long-term plans that you would like to share with us in the context of your research?
Yes, mainly I'm trying to finish my current research on contemporary migration control in Turkey, but also, again, reading historical material to develop a new project on the history of migration control. So these projects run in parallel with each other. So my current book project is about the Ottoman beginnings of migration and border control, in which I am asking how mobility, which is a constitutive element of every empire in the world, became a problem to be addressed in the Ottoman context. And I am mainly looking at how migration became an issue to be governed, and how bureaucratic and also technical instruments were deployed in that respect to categorize mobility as being risky and unrisky. It's actually a continuation of my work. I have already worked with concepts like risk governance as a way of governing security in Europe or in Turkey. And reading history also helps us to maybe counter this narrative that our contemporary period is unprecedented. If you look at history, it shows that there are these periods when these issues were also the concern of states or societies. So this is where I am going at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very relevant research. I was thinking about precisely this question of mobility being a very normal thing in history, and how we are living a moment of a crisis of multilateralism, institutions, and maybe some sort of a return to more nationalistic stance by individuals and societies, which is going definitely to impact the way that we perceive migration and border controls and everything. Beste, thank you very much for talking to us. Would you like to add anything else?
No, I would like to thank you again for inviting me, good luck with your center. And I have had very positive experiences of the center in terms of its interdisciplinary approach, but also the collaborative environment I have observed in the last few days here.
Let's hope that we can engage in other collaborations in the future and with all the researchers of ours that might be listening to this podcast.
Also, maybe to add that I am also affiliated with Amsterdam Center for European Studies, which is a very big center, which is a research priority area, which means that the University of Amsterdam considers European Studies as a priority research area. It's a very established center. Actually, the center which hired me as a postdoc 11 years ago. And it's a very experienced center as well. And I am also co-leader of the Europe in the World team of the center, which does amazing research about Europe's involvement or engagement with the world in the past and the present. And maybe a collaborative project might emerge between that center and yours.
That it would be perfect. Thank you very much for this and for sharing. Beste, thank you very much for joining us, for coming here, for talking to us, and also for getting to know our city and university. And we hope you come back soon.
Thank you.